All right, everybody, welcome. I'm Sherry Fredericks, and welcome to our weekly Zoom team call. Excited to see you here tonight. Our topic is Facebook parties with the amazing Angie Shaffer. But before we get to that, we do have a couple things to cover, and I always like to start the call with victories. So who would like to share a victory, big or small, tastefully simple related, please? I know it's hard to not all go at once. Lisa, do you want to share? Brooke, do you want to share?
I hit 3,000 tonight for the second month in a row.
Yay! That's awesome. That's double your goal, Brooke.
I know.
You'll be changing that goal soon.
Exactly. That's great. Well, good job, Brooke. Anybody else?
I'm not sure what part you want me to share, but my team sales we're 500 away from gold this month.
Oh,
$500 away?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. And it's only the
And we have till Sunday, so we'll get there.
Awesome. That's fantastic, Lisa. I know you have so many victories, but that's a really good one.
Yes.
Yes,
That's my focus.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. All right, so just a couple announcements. Last week we had Connie Ashburn speak on sponsoring, and we did a little team challenge called hashtag I did 10, and I didn't get a chance to draw, but I will do that tomorrow morning. So there will be one lucky winner, and then this week again, you can go on to the team page and you can do ask 10 people this coming week, and you'll be in, your name will go into a drawing as well. So go back to the team page. You can either listen to what Connie had to share, thought it was fantastic. Connie Ashburn is our training manager, and or you can just go to the post that talks about hashtag I did 10. So I know Brooke did it, Lisa Burns did it, Amanda, I know there was quite a few of you, so that's fantastic. Okay, a couple other things. Tastefully Simple always usually has monthly and sales incentives. So this month it's that cool charcuterie board and the knife and the fork. So check your sales. There's many of you that are earning all that, but make sure you do not miss out. The buzz. Do you guys know what the buzz is? It's every month at the very end of the month. It's on the Independent Consultant Facebook page. Tastefully Simple shares what's coming up. So November's buzz is October 29th at 11. I'm almost positive. You can check online. That's usually when it is. And they'll be sharing lots of things, but I know for a fact they'll be sharing the December and January host rewards. And I'm pretty sure January host rewards is going to be 50% more in host rewards. So got that from a very reliable source, but don't say anything to the public yet. But as you're booking your January parties now, I'm telling you, you can say that. So anyway, check that out. And the last thing I want to share as an announcement is the Amy app. Raise your hand if you're using the Amy app. I know a couple of you are. I would just say my hand is way down here because I have it, but I haven't used it really. But it's amazing. So that'll probably be our training for November as well. So there's information on my HQ. So check out the Amy. All right. Well, next up is our product knowledge. Product knowledge means we have one amazing person share one of our wonderful products. And I'm going to let Barbara do the product knowledge. I don't even know what you're sharing, Barbara. So take it away.
Hi, guys. Mine is, I decided to do the Nashville.
Oh, good one.
Hot seasoning. And for a variety of reasons. I've seen several posts on Dream Achievers about what to recommend people for Weight Watchers. Nashville hot seasoning provides a nice sprinkle of seasonings, and it doesn't give you a lot of calories. The biggest thing to be concerned about, not concerned, but think about is a serving size is a 1/4 teaspoon. So But you can sprinkle this on eggs. You can sprinkle this on wings. My husband is on Weight Watchers and I am not. I don't like spicy foods. He likes every flavoring he can throw on there. So this is the perfect thing. Because no matter what you make, and for like chili, I do the Wahoo chili, but it's not spicy enough for him. So he just sprinkles and adds this in. So we have different things, different tastes. It's gluten-free. Of course, it's the TS Eat Well. One of the favorite recipes that we have found is the chicken sliders, which are really good. I have a niece who has very young children. She's using this to sprinkle on her air fryer recipes, so she can have it a little spicier than what she has for the kids. And then one of the things I thought about, I haven't tried it yet, but there is a recipe out there for the Nashville hot chicken soup. And I'm thinking if you had a real head cold or heavy congestion, you could put this in that soup really well. And at least for me, I think it would be the best cold medicine out there. So I'm sure that's not CDC approved at all, but still, spicy stuff does that. It does have salt and sugar in it, but the sugar and the carbs don't count high enough percentage if you stick to that 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, so if you're going to recommend it to diabetics or people, it all comes down to serving size on this one. It's a little higher in salt. That's the first ingredient. So somebody on a low sodium diet would not should be going towards this one. Any questions?
Awesome, Barb. Thank you so much. Someone might need to go on mute only because I can hear like a TV in the background. But Barbara, okay, so Barbara talked about, remember last time we said features tell, so she talked about the product, and benefits sell. What were a couple benefits Barbara talked about? You want to go off mute? Anyone? Well, she talked about Weight Watchers. She talked about cold remedy. That's a benefit. She talked about someone that really likes spicy. You can add it to the way to go, Barbara. So thank you for sharing the Nashville hot seasoning.
Sherry, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Is that one really spicy? I haven't tried it.
Barbara, you answer.
Yeah, it's listed as a medium hot. So I got the wrong bowl one night. And for me, who put sour cream in everything because I don't like anything spicy, it was definitely a flavor. I could have gotten through it with a lot of sour cream. It's not as hot as some of the other things they've had out. Okay. It's got a Nashville, what they call a Nashville taste. So it's more of a, if you're familiar with paprika as a smoky spice.
Yep.
It's got that smoky sweet taste to it, more so than the hot burn your lips taste.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
No problem.
Barbara, you're just a value of knowledge on that one. Good job. Thank you very much. All right, well, next up is our topic. We have Angie Shaffer, gold leader from Creighton, Nebraska. Did you know that Angie has sold over 4,000 this month? And did you know that Angie year to date, which means January until now, has sold over 50,000?
Angie didn't even know that.
And most of that, like probably almost all of that, is from Facebook parties, right, Ange?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you did one event, but so
Yep, I started
anyway,
one.
let's give a big Dream Achievers welcome to Angie Shaffer, and she's going to talk about Facebook parties. Yay!
Thanks, guys. So I'm hoping I think there's a lot of you are new, so that's good. I'm hoping not to repeat too much of what I did, but that was last March. I looked when I talked about Facebook, so it was quite a while ago, but it is still going awesomely well. I'm still doing almost like Sherry said, almost everything is on parties and is online parties. I am doing a little bit more expos now, but I am using those now to book online parties. That's kind of my goal for those. It used to be just the sales, which, hey, I'll take those every day. But now my goal at those is to kind of open up my networks to get around some different people. So I'm using those. And then I've had a lot of repeat sales from them too. So I'm going to do the traditional teacher stuff with a PowerPoint. I hope that's all right. It helps keep me kind of going and on track. Okay. And so, like I said, I started out, I kind of always, I clicked a button here. There we go. All right. So it all started basically a year ago in June. So it was June of 2020. And I was wanting these tennis shoes and it was COVID.
It's like a weird one. All mute. It sounds
Is that me or is that?
spooky.
Coming from Anne, I think.
And I think if you could please, that'd
You
be
can just
awesome.
mute her too.
Can I?
Yeah.
Press
Just click on the top right of hers of the 3 little dots. And you should have-
Brilliant.
See, I know how to mute people too.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
Sorry, Angie.
Oh my gosh, no big deal. So it all started back in June of 2020. I wanted these tennis shoes. I didn't know how. It was COVID. Plus, before that, I had really just been doing expos and selling, doing a couple fundraisers, nothing too great. And so I started in on the Facebook and it is still going incredibly well. So basically, I looked back how many parties I've had from now until a year ago. So from basically October 24th to October 24th when I got this going, and I've done 128 parties. So it is still going strong, not slowing down much. So that's kind of the exciting part. And now I mostly do it because I am totally and completely addicted to the 40% commission. If you guys are not getting this, once you do, you're never going to want to let it go because it's a pretty darn awesome paycheck. So that's kind of why I'm doing it now. And I try and do about 2 parties a month, two parties a week. Obviously I'm doing even more, especially like right now, it's kind of like five parties starting in November. And so I say this every time, and I know I've heard so many people say, oh yeah, I should do those online parties. And seriously, you just need to do it. There's nothing to it. You can't mess them up. If you do, nobody knows. And so I'm just saying, just do it. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon, I think of all that I would have missed out on had I not done it. In the last year, I've paid off my car, the rest of my student loans, and my house. So it was pretty awesome to be able to do that. And without Tastefully Simple, that really wouldn't have happened. And so just do it, because that's where online is still, even without COVID, a lot of people like online and they still like the in-home and stuff. But we're all used to shopping online. We were really even before COVID. So that's just my encouragement to get on. So now I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I use and how kind of my system that I use. It's changed a little bit, but not much. Over the last year and a half, though, I have tried different things. And I kind of went back to my traditional that I've been doing. So I love the monthly themes. I only create 1 party a month because most of the time I don't have real overlap. And then if I do, I just ask the host, how many people are you going to be inviting? Are they the same as the ones before? But I've just been doing 1 party a month, and that way I don't have to do it. If you know me, you know I also work full time, and I just don't have the time to do a new party for every single one. And so I love Halloween is probably my favorite theme of the entire year. I love Howl for Halloween, and that's pretty fun. And also, though, the holidays just make it easy. So sometimes I usually use what Tastefully Simple gives us as a monthly theme, but I do it almost all myself because I don't get motivation from what they do, but I usually follow it, but a lot of times I will change it up a little bit. So I just do 1 That's it. So when I set it up, I create the party on HQ. And I know last time I kind of did it pretty basic to tell everybody. I do a catalog party. You probably all know this by now. You want to make sure you pick catalog, not the online. And then I'm still doing a Facebook party and I still do a group. The only thing I do now is I have it linked up to my Facebook page because SenseShare has been giving me troubles. I got away without it having troubles for a lot longer than anybody else. But now what I do is I link it to my business page. And so that way, when it posts, it actually posts from Angie Shaffer, Tastefully Simple Independent Consultant is kind of how it works. Okay. Any questions on that part, on setting it up, if we have anybody kind of new to it? Okay. I've still been doing that. I've messed around with doing a public group because a lot of hosts will be like, hey, I want to share this. And so they want to be able to share like the post onto their personal page. And so I tried a couple times with public, but it takes away a lot of my tagging features. It takes away how much I can see for the members. And I think it lowers how much people actually see of the post. So I went back to private. I tried the public for a little while. And then one week I did both. I did like one private, one public to see which one was better. And I've gone back to the private. I've kind of stuck with that one. So that's one thing I always say with Tastefully, with the online parties too, is you can totally try different things if you want to see what will work. And that's kind of a great thing. All right. So the next thing, probably the most important part of online parties is host coaching. And I always think of this question: do you want to make a little or a lot? And I don't remember who it was that said it to us, but it's so true. You're going to go through the same amount of work, but if you host coach, you're going to make a lot more than a little. So I have found through all of my Facebook parties that the hosts are really the key to this. When I have a fun, engaging party, it's because the host is out there. And sometimes they just have that knack and they do it. And then I sign them up as consultants, right, Barb? And then sometimes you really have to kind of remind them, hey, don't forget to tag some people, that kind of stuff. So host coaching is so important. So I really encourage them. I start off with sending them kind of like some videos like, hey, the party's coming up. Another change I did make is I do now send out catalogs and samples to them. So I had done this, I went away. Now I have found, since people are out in the public a lot more, that I do send catalogs, and I have gotten a lot more orders from catalogs. So I send my host 2 catalogs, a planner, and then usually like 2 samples. I have found though that almost none of my party people will post the recipes they make with the samples, but they'll post stuff they're cooking at home sometimes. So like this one, I want an example of a host I had. And my host, she had 33 in the group. And it was a Creighton, finally had a Creighton party. I never have local parties, it seems like, but she did a picture of her hubby making just burgers using the ultimate steak. And so many more people saw this and commented that 28 out of the group saw it, versus a post I would put up. If it had no comments, it'd be like 6. And so that's why it's so important to get the host to do stuff, because Facebook lets people see this more. So I will actually, a lot of times I'll screenshot this and I will circle how many people have seen it, and I'll send it to them. So after I get them to do one, and I'll say, look, see how many people saw this post compared to mine at only like 4 or 5, even though I think it's like the coolest post. Facebook automatically puts new material. And so if you can, I tell them, just take a picture of your morning eggs putting on a seasoned salt. I said, it doesn't even have to have you in it. And so I really do, I can't emphasize that. I also found this thing, which I actually like more. This has really helped. So I used to always send them something saying, hey, your party starts tomorrow. Then I send them the party planner, and then I say, don't forget to post. This is a great little graphic that I've been sending that I think really is pretty good too. So I will glad to share it. I'm sure it's pretty small on your screen. I don't know who made it. I can't take credit for it. I just found it somewhere, but this is one that I send to them in addition to some other stuff. So I've shared my host coaching info, and I'll be glad to share it on our page again with exactly what I send them. But one of the key things that I've been doing is sending the new and awesome party planner. So if you guys aren't using the party planner that came out, You've got to. I have found this has really motivated my hosts. And so I really went to, now I send them and I say, what's your goal? So that's something I just started doing in the last 2 months. I ask the host, what's your goal for parties? And usually they're pretty good. They're like, 500, 600, and then I kind of push them. And I have found those, when they set a goal, they really watch this party planner. So just as a reminder, if you can't remember where to find the party planner, I just took a picture here. You go into their party, and then you, if for one, you can do it when you send it. I should have taken another picture, but you just, when you have the party, you have the host in the left and it says edit, and then you have the party that says edit. So you go in to change it and you click that little edit and it will pull up this party planner website. So they do get an email with it, but I would say 99% never get it. And so I always just copy and paste this link and I send it to them in one of my host coaching emails. And then I just kind of wanted to show you what it looks like. The new one now, it shows them how much they need for free shipping. It shows them how much free product they've earned. I don't know why this one wasn't showing as free product when I screenshot it. This is a party, you guys, that hasn't even started. It starts tomorrow, and look at her sales as of Saturday. That's because this is one that I got at an expo. And so it's kind of a new area that hadn't had a lot of parties. So I just can't stress that enough. Use those expos for that. And then it shows their 50% off items. So again, I don't know why it's not showing. It should be showing their free product is already $30, but this is the new party planner. Do you guys have questions on that? No? All right, I'll keep going. How am I doing on time? Yikes.
Angie,
Okay.
I got a quick question on that.
Sure.
So I send that to my host, like however I'm communicating with them, like it's usually Facebook Messenger. And I tell them, I'm like, this is the way to track your sales and your free stuff and how to get to the next level. And I pretty much get crickets. Is it just them not taking the initiative, or is there something more I should be doing, or what do you think? Because I agree.
Just not crickets right away from when they don't answer? Or?
No, like they just don't. I'm sure they've never, every host I've ever had has never looked at it.
Yeah.
I
And I always just say to them, did the link work for you? And then I always kind of bring it back to them. So, and then the other thing I've been doing is when they get like so many orders, I'll send them and be like, wow, you've got $90 in orders already. Look at how great you're doing. And then I refer to this again.
Okay.
And I think it helps too when you set a goal, because then they want to see how they're doing on their goal. So maybe try that in addition to it. But whenever they ignore me, which happens all the time, I always just say, hey, did that link work for you? That's a good way to kind of bring it back to you. Yeah. But I found people that watch this so dang close that they'll literally text me and be like, so-and-so ordered and I didn't see a thank you posted. And they're like that quick on it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. It's kind of interesting. And then again, some aren't that big on it. That's the way it always is. We all know that. All right. So 4-day party style still. I did go and try a 7-day party style back in the summer. I found that people were not responding as good on Facebook. I don't know if they did a different algorithm, but I was really having to hustle to get orders. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try a 7-day party style. And so I actually spread it out over 7 days and did posts, and I saw 0 improvement in the party. So I went back to the 4-day. I just like the 4-day style. The only thing I do now is I do leave them open until about Tuesday. So actually I close kind of one day later. And so I haven't been sending my hosts the groups until about Saturday to get them invited, just because now that I'm in school, I'm a little more overwhelmed and not as quick on it. But I send the link on Saturday, have them start inviting. I do the same thing where I really broke it down to encourage them to invite a lot. So I have the math in there in my host coaching, even saying you need to invite a lot. And that has been kind of helpful. The minute I started putting in kind of the numbers as to why, it seemed like they tried a little bit harder. So I do a 4-day party style again, same as it always has been. On Tuesdays, I tend to do appetizers and drinks. Wednesdays, I do main dishes. Thursday, dessert. Friday, wrap it up. The only thing I might try differently in the January maybe is to just kind of do a mixture for 4 days. I haven't tried that. Facebook, people don't really just see all the posts in one day. So I don't know if they really recognize that, hey, I'm grouping it by appetizers, then by main dishes and stuff. So that's the only thing I'm thinking about maybe doing, is just kind of assortment more throughout the day. We'll let you know on the next one, but that's what I do so far. For one, it just kind of helps me to organize my parties. It's easier to put it together. I don't miss stuff. I try and every month kind of feature different things with that. I try to kind of feature a couple different things, and desserts seem to be the biggest hit as of anymore. It's kind of crazy how I used to never sell very many desserts, and now I sell a lot. I don't know if people are baking at home. And then in the Friday is wrap it up day, but in the Christmas time, I really focus on the Christmas throughout, but I really focus a lot on Friday. But I've been kind of, I will put gifts in each day too, because people are starting their Christmas shopping. And so I really do try and feature them throughout every day, but especially like on Friday. Okay. Any questions on the party style? Yeah. Okay. And I think, yeah, I just feel like I always have to ask questions, but you're good. You guys just tell me. If not-
Angie,
Yes.
How many posts a day?
I usually do about 10 to 12. It's a lot, I know, but I figure if I'm posting 10 to 12, my guess is they're maybe seeing one, unless they have the notifications on, then they're seeing them all, which it's really hard to get people to do that. Really hard. I even gave away a prize for every single person that did it. I made a cute little video of me putting in their prizes in the mail, and I still couldn't get them to do it. So I kind of gave up on that, but it's hard to get them to. So I figure between 12, they're probably seeing one. Yeah. And then I will, and on top of that, I always just throw in a couple recipes at night, some of my favorite recipes. So on top of that, I will just put in a recipe saying like featuring our cheesy warm dip mix or cheesy pizza and stuff. So yeah, I am still using SenseShare, but again, you can do it on Facebook, but I love SenseShare. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without that, not to go too far into it. For those of you who are new, SenseShare is simply an app, a website. It is not from Tastefully Simple, but it allows us to do what's called batch posting. And that means I can post an entire party's post for the day in about 3 seconds. I mean, it's literally that quick. So I do post them differently for each party. Like when I have right now, I have 4 parties going on, or 5, maybe 4 parties and a fundraiser. And I do separate them by about 10 minutes. I've been thinking about not doing that to see what happens, but I really don't want to get put in Facebook jail right now during our biggest season. So I just do them about 10 minutes apart, just to make sure that nothing happens with that. But I'm using SenseShare, and we have some training on it. And at first it seems a little overwhelming, but then once you get in it, it's so super simple. And on your phone, I think it's even more simple. I have a lot of consultants who are just using SenseShare on their phone. But I schedule everything. I try and schedule out my entire party on the weekend because that's when I have time. And that way I can just focus on responding and talking to hosts and their guests. Okay. All right. So some things I do in the party. Yeah, go ahead.
So when you're saying that you schedule them 10 minutes apart, is that like party A, party B?
Yes. Yeah. Good
Okay,
question.
then,
I should totally have.
And then do you post every hour or?
I do.
Okay. So that's how I do it too, but I run for the most I've done is 5 at a time, and I post them identical for party A, B, C, and D.
See, and you haven't had any problems, right?
I've never had a problem.
Because I have for the last few days. I'm tempted to try that. It would be quicker if I could just do them all at once.
Yeah, because I just do it. So it like takes me seconds to post to 4 or 5 different parties. But
especially since I'm using my group page, I'm more likely to try that. Before, when I was using my individual, that made me a little more nervous. But yeah, I think that we totally could probably, since it's a page. I might just go for it. Yeah. So good question. And she had a good question. I post an hour. And one thing I do try and do is I make my last post I want to hit, and it's my most engaging post. It usually has very little to do with Tastefully Simple, except for fun stuff like this. But I want that last post to be about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And that's because that's when most people sit down and get on their phone. And I'm hoping that if it's engaging, they'll see it, and then that will draw them into the party. So every night I always post like a really fun, engaging one that I've seen in the past has good luck to bring them in. And so that's kind of what I do. It's actually not always a Facebook product post, but I do fun things like this. This one has been a huge hit. What dish are you bringing to the potluck? It's amazing to me how many people will answer these. And then I just usually do like a fun little GIF of you, or that kind of stuff. Just fun ones. This middle one is an oldie but a goodie. I stopped doing it for quite a while, but I brought it back because so many people like it. And then this one I really like. What's for dinner? It's a hit or miss. Some people jump on it, some don't. But one thing I love about it is they'll say like, I'm having chili, and then I will say, oh, have you tried our Wahoo chili? Or, oh my God, a beer bread would go good with that. So this one I like because it allows me to bring in all kinds of different stuff. So whatever they say they're having for dinner, then I bring in a product for it. And that one has been pretty successful with creating engagement. And then it's just a fun way to bring in the product. But the more you can do that, the better. I throw recipes in there everywhere. One thing I can say is be really relevant to the season. So when it was a ton of zucchini time, I was using a lot of zucchini recipes, or tomatoes or cucumbers. Pick ones that people really tend to respond to and use those. So these two are ones that people just love. They see it and I get lots of likes and lots of comments. And so you can see these are like at 8:14 p.m. I'm not worried about, oh, are they going to make it for dinner tomorrow? But it's just a way to get people thinking. And then if they like it and comment, then it's going to, hopefully they'll say, oh, I'm going to click on our group and look through the rest of the posts, is my goal for these engaging posts. And then another fun one is this cheesy pizza dip. And I always just kind of tell them what I make it with. So I'll just pick a couple recipes and throw those in addition to it. And it's so simple. I just have these pre-typed up. So try and add recipes everywhere. If you know me, I do lots and lots of recipes because they love those. And that's again, to sell the benefits of the product, how you're going to use it. Some of the other great engaging, this one doesn't work anymore, but this one had the best response. Team Pumpkin versus Team Apple. Of course, our pumpkin bread is gone. Again, I don't know who made this, but whoever did, it was genius because for some reason that went well. The other thing I've been doing a ton of now, I try and do almost half my posts as a this or that, because it really gets people into it every single time. So when you can ask them a question, and I just create these in Canva, and Canva is another outside Tastefully Simple source, but it makes it pretty simple. It's like, I've heard it called Adobe Photoshop for the poor. That's kind of what my students have called it, because it's pretty reasonably priced. And so it does work pretty good. And I just do a this or that. And so if they pick this in the comments, then I give them a cheesy pizza dip recipe. If they pick that, I give them an artichoke spinach recipe. And this one right here has just gotten so many responses. Every party, you can have crickets. I put this out there and it usually gets some pretty good responses, these types. So I ask a lot of questions. I do a lot of this or that because that seems to work, but I always add in some recipes. All right, I'm going to keep going because I know we're running short on time. Play games. I do a lot of play games. I no longer do prizes except for one. I've found that they just aren't working as well. Prizes, people don't really seem to care. So now I've just been doing fun games with holidays usually, or kind of the season. And I just watch for them on my Facebook pages and I just grab them. So people like these. Again, it just creates kind of that engagement, and then it brings them back into the party, so that I'm hoping they'll click on that party group. So like this one, have you ever, give yourself 5 points for everything you've done, has nothing to do with Tastefully Simple, but if people comment, then Facebook shows it to more people in the group. And then my hope is they'll click back into the group is what they're doing. So again, Halloween just leads to it. So is Thanksgiving and Christmas are so easy. In January, I do a lot of jokes about, being cold and that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is try and have fun with your own parties. So make them so that you would enjoy them. Use those recipes like crazy. People love them. Every time if somebody says something about like, oh, it's a great party, that what they love the most, they'll tell me is the recipes. So always use those recipes, and then you can get them to join your group too. Again, most interaction happens to me usually in the evening or in the morning, I have found. And so I always post something interactive at the night. Use a ton of videos. I'm going to just show you. Use a ton of GIFs. I mean, GIFs. It's amazing how many GIFs are out there for everything. Like that Halloween costume, I had one for like an angry taco. There was one for an angry taco that I could post. It's just crazy. So use those. Just search for them. People love them. They respond to them. And it's super simple and easy. So I just want to show you these real quick. These are some things I've been doing with Canva. I've just been making, and what this is actually a video. I'll just kind of start this one. Can you guys hear that? Okay. So this is the video from Tastefully Simple. And I just put it in here and then I put our name and stuff. I won't show anymore because you've probably all seen it so many times. But I create these in Canva and I just have one template and then I just change them up and save them all differently. So I put the video that Tastefully Simple creates, the text here, and then this one I added just some fun little features from Canva. And I love doing these. These tend to have pretty good responses. So I do a lot of these videos now. And I found that it helps to do videos in these because then they get to see the product and stuff too. So I will be glad to share these with you, but they are so easy to make with Canva, you guys. Anybody can do it, but I'll be glad to share them too. So I use tons of videos as much as I possibly can. Oops, sorry, it's playing this one now. Oh my gosh, we're all playing everything. All right. And then thank yous. I do thank yous for every single person. I tag always the host and the client. I have like 5 set things I say and I copy and paste them. And then I add in the names and stuff. So I rotate them every 5, but they're pretty much the same thank yous. I just do that. But always then I add 2 to 3 recipes. I look at what they ordered and I add those recipes. And this I think is really important because when you post thank yous, it seems like it starts the more people will order. It seems like they see it and they're like, oh, they're ordering, I better. So I really try and do that a lot. And the recipes, just another way people love to see those recipes and bring them in. So bookings, do you want me to keep going, Sherry? I see I'm over time. Okay. So as for bookings, this is really important that you just keep booking. I try and do 1 for 1. I used to love to get 2 for 1, but now I'm just like, hey, as long as I repeat a booking for every party, that's good. So what I do is I send a Facebook message to every single person that orders. And about, I don't know, 30 to 40% see it. Most do not ever even see the message. And this is what I love because now I've been using Amy. And again, Amy is that outside source that we can use. And I send text messages now. So almost, I would say like 75% of my parties have been booked using Amy through text messages because they simply don't see it anymore on Facebook Messenger. So I think you're going to love using Amy and it comes next week. It is so awesome. It still doesn't, you have to do all the work, but it makes that simple. So I can send them text messages and people respond through that. It uses their orders. And then it allows me to send a message and I just use basically the same message. Thanks for your order. Would you like to have a party and get it for yourself? So this has saved me for this fall. It's helped me book a lot of parties. Then I get the host involved. Who do you think would be a good host? And then I have them go on it. So part of the host coaching is I really talk about the meal kits and how they can get them half price. So if I have a host who will say like, oh, that looks so great, that meal kit, I always post, you can get it for half price, go after people. And that sounds really terrible, go after people. But they're going to say yes to their host a lot more. So if I have somebody who's like, I don't know, maybe I will message the host and say, you need to contact them and ask them to. And then I also ask the host to tag people, but by far and large, I really don't have anybody anymore saying, yeah, I'll have a party just out of the blue on Facebook. I used to all the time. Now I have to ask them, which is okay. I get a whole lot more no's than yes, and I could care less. But if you're not asking, it's not going to happen. And that's why I love having a busy schedule because then it keeps that whole rotation going, but just ask. And my suggestion too, is if someone calls you and orders, like I just had somebody who says, had a party and she's out of seasoned salt, needs more, or she was at a party. And I had asked her if she wanted a party before and she said no. Now she's had a chance to use the products and is thoroughly addicted to them and was like, yeah, I'll try it. And so I'm hoping soon to get her to be a consultant, but ask every time they order, somebody reorders, just ask them to host. So you can't ask enough. We all know that. So one thing I have been doing, I do have to do a little bit more, I call it hustling on my parties a little bit more, especially this summer. But I have found myself having to really nudge people a lot more. And it really makes me nervous because I don't want to be that annoying person who tags you in every single post. I've had parties where I've been in and they tagged me in every party post. And that to me was really annoying. So what I do is I usually only do it once. At the very end, I usually do it on Sunday night or Monday. And I use this little cute picture and I have one other that I'll use. And this one says, your host is so close. And I just on Facebook, I'll put a little message and I'll say, Tracy's party is ending soon. Please get your orders in. She's so close to her goal. Even if she's not next to a level, I just kind of put that because of course the host wants to get to the next goal. And then I go through and I tag everybody in the party. And I usually just do an @ sign and push an A, and then I select all the people with A. Then I do an @ sign and I type a B, and I select all the people with a B. Does that kind of make sense how I do it with tagging them? Yeah. And so I tag them right in the party, and this has been really successful. I send them messages too. I used to, but no, they just weren't seeing it. So I kind of stopped doing that and stuff. But that's what I've done. I have an example of, I did this on a party. It was just this last party. I knew that she should have a good party. I know all these people like Tastefully Simple, but they just simply weren't ordering. And so I posted this, and it increased the party by 200, but I think it was actually closer to 300 within a day. I mean, that many people were like, oh yeah, I got to order. That's what I think we have to keep remembering, is that people mostly are just forgetting or not seeing it. It's not that they don't want to order, but they just don't see it anymore on Facebook. So we have to remind them. And then the other thing I've been doing too is having the host use their personal webpage at least once or twice to say, I'm having a Tastefully Simple party, who wants to order? That's another way they usually are able to get like another 50 to 100 in orders, because people didn't join the party, don't see it, but they see their private Facebook page. Okay. So, wow, I went through all that really quick because I saw I was running out of time. What questions do you have? I saw there's lots of chats. Have you been watching those at all, Sherry?
Yeah, I have. Fantastic job, Ange, as always. Very
Yeah.
good. Who's got questions for Angie?
I don't have a question, but I did notice this is Seska, sorry. In the last Facebook party that I did, so I've got a couple going, the one that I did now, I added the biggest thing is people are like, I can't find the link. I can't find the link to order. So I started putting the link to order on every single post that I have. And I've had more orders, like they're coming in every day instead of people waiting towards the end. So that was one thing that I started doing, is I just put the link to the party is da 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 da. You can place your order anytime between now and the 26th.
Yeah, such a good point, Seska. I do too. And I was going to talk about Linktree, but I knew I'd run out of time because I use that. So I don't have to constantly change my posts. I share my Linktree in almost 99% of my posts too. Great question.
Linktree is
suggestion.
fantastic, and it's
Yeah.
free. But Seska, thank you so much for bringing that up, because it's, when you don't do that, you're like, well, how do I order? How do I order? So,
And they still ask, even though you've got it in every single post.
so good job. Other questions for Ange? I would love
Angie, how much are the SidShare and what was the other one? Canva. I know you
So-
said Canva is
Yeah.
reasonable. How much are they a
is.
month?
I think I pay for it in the year. So SendShare, I believe, is $70 for the year. And Canva, I think, is pretty similar. It used to be $10 a month, and then I think I did the whole year, and so it's like $8 and stuff. And then we'll have Amy too coming up, but
So Bria, I use SendShare, and Angie, Canva's part of that. So I just pay $8 a month.
it is part of it because I'm paying it separately.
No, for me, SendShare, and then I can click on Canva.
Yeah, but I thought I need to check because I thought you had to have a separate
No.
account to use it.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh,
Mm-mm.
that's
So
funny.
It's free. I mean, it's not free, but you're paying for
Okay.
it. So yeah, Angie, you gotta check.
Yeah, no kidding.
You gotta check on that.
Angie, at least last time I looked, Canva is free of SendShare, and SendShare was $10 a month unless you're paying for the year.
Yeah.
And then it's $8 a month or $96. Yeah, $96 for the year.
Yeah.
But Canva's already in it. You just don't always get those this and that templates.
Well, and
You
I
gotta-
make my own. So
Yeah, so you have, once
Yeah.
you make one that is your own, then you can go from there.
Yeah. That's funny.
And Angie has a link if you want to do SendShare, and she can get that to you. If you're doing more than one party a week, hands up or hands down, you got to do SendShare. I could never do it. I know Brooke uses SendShare. I trained her with it right away, and there's no way she could do what she does without that. And Linktree.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what Amy's gonna cost?
I think I heard about $6.95 a month. Is that what you
Oh,
heard,
what?
Sherry?
I can't remember. Sorry.
Super reasonable.
Something
I remember
like that.
thinking,
Yeah,
You remember?
that's
Sarah?
very reasonable.
I thought $6 or $6.95. That's what it was when I was looking at getting it without Tastefully Simple. So I don't know if it'll be higher or not, but
And I haven't had a chance to really look at that, but yeah.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, they never really told us the price when we were in that demo because we got it for free. So
Right. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna stop the recording, but that does not mean that we need to go on.